Hello, class. My name is Diane Reinhardt, and I want to welcome you to LOS325. So this is going to be a course where we're going to be exploring the global business world. So we're going to talk about leadership and management in the global world. And I think it's important for us all to recognize how much globalization has changed in the past, we'll say 20 years. Then look back even further. So I'm going to go over the course at a high level, and then I'm going to break into week 1 so you can get a understanding of the cadence of the course. This is a course which has groups involved along with individual work. So let me first point out the announcements. You see this on the home page. I will very frequently post announcements. If I am seeing a concern for more than one person, I will post an announcement. If, just to welcome you to the week, I will give you an overview of the week and what to expect in the assignments that are due that week, such as this. So always take a look at the announcement just to see if it has relevance to you or not. Next place to look is your course syllabus. So, sorry about that. Took a little bit longer than expected to load. But you can do quite a bit with the syllabus. You will gain access to that, and it will show you the assignments that you have. So just giving you the general course description again, where we're talking about leadership, so management, organizational behavior, change, ethics, and teamwork. And so that will all be comprised in this course. So what we want to do is make sure that you see that you have access to the global business management reading. So I'll show you that in the modules. That is available to you. And there's a few different ways you can actually download it. And I've done that, and it's actually really nice because you can even download it to a Kindle if you have one. So methods of determining your final grade. So there will be a weekly textbook discussion. So you will see a textbook question that will be based on your readings of the week. So whatever concepts that you may be presented with during the week, we're going to be asking you to think about that. Additionally, there will be assignments. So there is weekly group participation. There are weekly individual reflection papers. There's also weekly all-class group collaboration. Sorry about that. And you will also see, my goodness, I am so sorry about all these pop-ups here. So the weekly all-class group collaboration, so the waypoints, where you're checking in and looking back at what your peers have written, along with the ultimate final project, which is a final group presentation for week 6. So we're going to talk about that just briefly, but I don't want to get too waylaid down with that. So again, your syllabus is very useful to keep track of, knowing what is expected, explaining the coursework and what it means, okay, and the final assignment. And additionally, each week you will see the required readings. Again, also in modules. So let's go to your modules. So I do hide a few things that are not relevant and something that you may choose to do as well. So the Sullivan Career and Life Planning, this is in all of your courses. Definitely a great site to access as you're moving through your college career and looking for a maybe possibly new or enhancement of your current career. But when you don't need to see that actually right now, you can go ahead and shrink that. Same thing with the technology requirements. Useful to know, but it's in all of your courses, so if you want to just get rid of it so it's out of your way, that's helpful. Also, course resources in all of your courses. Again, like I said, this is just cleanup, housekeeping, something I like to do, but it is good to see because it includes the APA formatting guide, because remember, this course will be in the business program, which uses APA formatting. Okay, what is important to know? The course text. So you have access to that. It does need to open in a browser. So you want to go ahead and load that. It's going to pick a browser to open with. And there you are. So you can actually read it directly from in Flat World. That's fine. Table of contents is very nice to be able to, click to the different subsections in a chapter. So that's really nice. You have search features, so you can search keywords that you may be looking for. So the other thing is to look at my bookshelf. Well, let me close this one sec. To look to my bookshelf, because this gives you other options. So you can always read the book online. Another thing you could do is download the textbook. So you could download it as a PDF, which may be really helpful for you because maybe you're going to be traveling overnight somewhere where you're not going to have great Wi-Fi, but you need to read the chapter for the week. By downloading the PDF, you will have it in PDF format. So that just needs you to have the computer or a tablet of some type. Reading it on your phone is hard. I was at a dentist appointment trying to do that. Not really the most fun, but it can be done. Other formats you can do, downloading an EPUB. So this actually uses the Adobe EPUB format, or you can download it as a Kindle. And I did do that. It seems to work really well. I can't share it among my library, but I can use it while on this device. So another great way of looking at the book. And the book is going to be something where I'm going to tell you real quick, it's going to be really helpful to you. So I'm going to actually go ahead and get out of this because this is not where we need to be. So let me refresh this and pull that up again. You're going to see information in this as you're going through even just this first couple chapters that you're required for this first week that you will find essential as you move forward. And I don't want to get too far ahead of things because you haven't really even started, but I will tell you for your project, which is about expanding the reach of Netflix into another country. Now, I will tell you, Netflix currently is in 190 countries. It does not specifically enumerate all the countries. So one of the things that we allow you in this course is to pick any country that you wish to expand into, aside from something such as the United States, or one of the countries where it is clearly not allowed that may prove problematic. And we'll talk about that a little bit further down the road. But let's go ahead and scroll down to actually chapter 2. Open that up. So this is how you get to the chapter. And then you go right into the sections and things to think about. So talking about how governments attract trade and investments. So this will be a section that will be really important, along with many others, don't get me wrong, but that will really be helpful as you start thinking about doing business in another country. All right, so that's your textbook. Again, the information that you need to read is in the syllabus, and you will also see it in the modules. So let's go to the modules and talk about that. Okay. So now we are in the pre-class module, and we are looking at the overview. So this is something where not all of your classes will have pre-class assignments. Some do, some don't, but now you do, okay? So in this, one of the things you will read, boy, I'm so sorry, everything seems to be taking so long, but it is the case study that will form the basis of understanding of your final project and what you'll be working on week by week. So we have a very nice comprehensive project that you will work on each week as a group and individually, and present as a group and individually in the final week. So again, some reading material that you need to have read in this pre-class time frame, okay? Now, it does actually give you, let me go back, sorry, let's do that again, because it does give you the little heads up about why this is important to you, which is the reading. So let's scroll all the way down. So in week 6, your group will conduct a mock presentation to the executive team at Netflix in which you discuss convincing reasons for or against potential expansion of Netflix services into your chosen country. Again, Netflix has expanded greatly over the years, and you will see that as you do some research. But we are allowing you to expand into the nation of your choice. Again, more to come on that as we go, but that will be the executive group presentation, which will be a narrated presentation using Google Slides, using Screencast-O-Matic to show some form of a presentation. PowerPoint always is an option as well, but it will be narrated with each member contributing to the narration. All right. Sorry, get a little sidetracked with all the good information we have here. So now this is the pre-class discussion. You will be going into this. Now, I have already assigned you groups. How can you tell what group you are in? There's two ways. So you have access to people. So if you went to people, you will see two tabs. Or perhaps the easier way is groups. Now, I was a student here at Bay Path University. I'm an alumni from several years back. So actually, if I click on this, I will show you that I was previously in groups. Actually, only in one now that I've graduated. But this would be where your group would be listed. Okay? So let me go out of that. I won't click on people right now, but that is another option. So there will be two tabs, people and groups. And you'll see all the groups and the people assigned to the groups. So, again, you will be coming together as a team. This will be your opportunity to meet each other, start a group discussion, and start establishing roles for each member, a leadership style amongst yourselves. And one of the ways to do that is by understanding and reading this article. So that's your pre-class assignment. Again, when it comes to any discussion, you always have the option, which you should do, of reviewing the rubric. So this is just a pre-class, so we're really basically making sure that you have posted in a timely manner. So when you're in a group, keep in mind that other people may be waiting on you. So while the assignment may not be due till Saturday, as a team, you need to establish your own timelines. When do you want collaborator A to provide their information? Because if someone is waiting on that to move on to their part, you need to be mindful of that. So for this first pre-class assignment, we're really just going to be sure that you've actually posted and it was timely. Okay, so that's really all we're looking for in this one. So now let's go to module 1. So for week 1, okay, global business and trade. And we are going to jump right in. We are going to be talking about how globalization has really changed throughout history. And we do talk about history. We talk about the history of trade, the Silk Road, how nations such as the British Empire, Portuguese, many other nations, how they actually took countries under their own umbrella as an empire in the years past to become part of a global trading partner. Then you'll learn from new information about the CAGE framework. So you'll hear about that. You will also understand a little bit more, and I kind of feel like, once again, I'm jumping around a little bit, but you will learn these frameworks that will be applicable to your final project. So let's just jump right into the module. But before I do, what's the most important thing? This is an accelerated course, and as such, no work can be submitted late. So when it comes to your assignments, those due dates are very firm. You need to submit your work by that date. If you do not, it's a 0. If you do not apply yourself to any of these assignments, so there are 4 in that first week, you would be removed from the course. Now, in later weeks, lateness is acceptable. There is a high penalty of 30% lost automatically on the assignment, but 30% of a loss is better than a 0. So always keep that in mind as well. The important thing is it's a general discussion, a group collaboration, a discussion on your progress, and an individual reflection. Those will be the things that you will be going over in the week. So I first want to apologize. I never like to make this long of an announcement or video, but this is our first week. This is our introduction to the course, so it's always going to be a little bit longer because I want to give you a preview of the course, a little bit of the understanding of the structure and cadence. But now, this would be the jump right into the week 1 activities. So week 1, global business and trade. So we're going to be talking about that. Always be sure to go to the overview. It's going to give you a little bit of an understanding of what is meant by international commerce. So it kind of gives you a heads up on what we're going to be talking about and what you'll be reading about in your course material. Your competencies that by the end of the course you should be able to understand. So we talked about the CAGE framework just very quickly. So you will hear about that. But understanding the importance of analyzing external and internal environmental factors. And there are many factors that influence business and the ability of business to globalize. What are the trade incentives, disincentives? Do they have a protectionist format? What is it that the country either offers opportunities for or presents challenges to that impact trade? So you will learn these course competencies as you move forward. Throughout the week, the learning objectives will be to explain the relationship between international business and ethics, to compare the role of a global manager with that of a domestic manager, so international versus US, or by nation, assess international trade theory, examine how political and legal factors impact international trade, and summarize the impact of direct foreign investment. So the reason I always point you to the to-do list or to the overview is for your to-do list. So you will need to read Chapter 1, Chapter 2. You will need to participate in the general discussion, in the group collaboration discussion, in the progress discussion, and to provide an individual reflection. So let's jump right in. Again, your learning materials are in the Flat World book. Okay, this gives you an understanding of what you will read about in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And just so you know, this cadence, this sequence is going to look very much the same for all your 6 weeks. Week 6 will be a little different with regard to your presentation, but you will see this. And ultimately, we want to get you comfortable. So let's talk about the discussion. So one of the things I want to point out, you're going to see a question, which is going to be based very strongly on material you read in the book, your textbook, which is embedded in your course. Your initial post has a word count of 250 to 500 words. This needs to be an APA format. Use citations if it is material that is not your own. Refer to the rubric. So let's do that right now. So this will be the criteria on which I am assessing your grade. Your grade is comprised of both your initial post, which is very important and forms the basis of your perspective for your colleagues to form their opinion on. Perhaps they agree, perhaps they do not, perhaps they'd like to expand on what you said, but you have that opportunity as a peer to share the material with them. So this is the criteria which we will be looking at. Your initial post and your replies to peers will be comprised of the whole of the grade. So did you build on the reading material and substantiate with some examples? Did you demonstrate that you researched and have evidence-based writing? Is your writing organized, well-defined, making clear transitions with few spelling or grammatical errors? And peer responses. So your peer responses, to achieve exemplary, the goal would be 4 peer responses per week. So that means you're going to have 5 total posts. 1 for your initial and 4 peer responses. And this is a discussion. This is meant to be an opportunity to collaborate, hear from each other, learn from each other. Okay, so it is a very important aspect of the learning in this course. So let's shrink that. So that's your initial post. Your initial post should look like that. The rubric, of course, comes into play. Your initial post is due by the Thursday of the course at 11:59, no later. But by Saturday, you are to reply. So we know how many posts are required for an exemplary, which is 4 posts to peers or myself. So you're going to build on something your classmates said. Perhaps they asked you a question. Explain why or how you may see things differently. Perhaps you're going to ask a peer a probing question. Perhaps you interpreted the information differently, and this is an opportunity to clear up any misinterpretation from either side. You want to offer an opinion or support your opinion, or expanding on a classmate's posting. So again, this is what you will see for all your weeks for the general discussion. A concept coming directly from your text that will be something that we're asking you to both post on with your original ideas and then to reply to your peers. Okay? All right. You will be in a group. So when you come into the group, and I'm in the instructor view, so I don't have the same view you do, you will see a discussion question, and that will bring you to your group. Again, your group is comprised of a certain subset of students, and you will be collaborating with yourselves. One of the things that's important to recognize is when you're in the group, it's almost like your own little Canvas course. That group discussion is for you, seen by you, and by no one else but myself. So your peers in the group see it, but none of the other classmates see it. So it is your opportunity to work together, collaborate together for the conversation. Again, it is a graded assignment, so you want to take a look at the rubric, see how that influences what you're to do. So you need to put in an initial post, and it has to be timely. And again, timeliness is important to think about with groups. The timeline of having a due date is one thing versus what your team needs. So as a team, be sure to speak to this. Set expectations amongst yourselves as to when work should be submitted. Okay? Next. All right. So this is another conversation here. So your group will select a targeted country from the list the instructor provided. My country that I'm providing is any country except the United States. My one thought to you is there are several nations which are specifically not allowed to have Netflix right now. I would like you to investigate those. Think about why they are not being allowed to have Netflix right now, especially given the climate over the last 2 months politically in Eastern Europe and Russia. So think about that. Aside from that, all other nations are on the table. Do not pick the United States. Do not pick the nations which are not allowed. So if you wanted to select Italy, Portugal, Brazil, feel free. I would prefer you stay away from those that are specifically in the case study. So let's stay away from those, which was India. But feel free to open it up. If you are concerned, reach out to me. If you are not sure if that nation would be a good choice, reach out to me. But as a group, reach out to me. Okay? So again, this is a group. So you have read about this a little bit. As a group, examine political and legal factors that may impact Netflix in the country of your choice. Okay? Work with each other to answer these questions. All right? So that is your discussion. Now, moving on to the last. And this is your individual reflection. So as an individual, submit a 1-page. That means 1 full page, APA formatting of course, and as always, and summary of your group's weekly analysis regarding Netflix and your chosen country. Reflect on the group dynamics, your discoveries about global business and trade in your country. And the rubric is, of course, below. And that is what you have for week 1. It's an opportunity to meet and collaborate with your peers. But of course, you do have your own individual input, both into the team, so how you participate with your team members, and your individual assessment. So all I'm going to do is say, we're going to do the same conversation going forward. But as you see, the weeks will follow a very, very similar cadence. Okay? So what you see does only change in week 6 because you will actually present the material. But this is your opportunity. Get ahead on the reading. Jump into these discussions. Seek out your group members. Communicate with each other. Define what is going to work as a team. Come together. Storm, norm, form, perform as a group, because you will be in it together, and what you learn from each other will be very valuable. I hope this makes sense as an overview to the course, to week 1, and I will actually be doing a separate video, a little bit shorter, talking about what's going to be really important from your readings. So I will promise you it's going to be a lot shorter, but things I want to make sure you take away from your readings. All right, that's all for now. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.